You are watching Xirtus.
Guy who made the X Files is connected to Lee Harvey Oswald, and he's connected to the U-2 spy program, CIA operations at the time. So all these CIA connections have come forward with connection to the Kennedy assassination, but with Roswell, it was amazing because all the top intelligence officers, both Colonel Dubois, Dubois, and Jesse Marcel Sr., the intelligence officer on the site, was the first one to discover the wreckage of the craft, said it was a flying saucer and it was not from this earth. Both these guys said there was a material switch when they flew the debris from Roswell to Fort Worth, and General Ramey made them do a press conference for the disinformation campaign where they brought out a weather balloon, they held up pieces of it, and they showed it off to the public. Both these guys testified there was a material switch. June Crane, the secretary at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, remembers the day that this material came in and all the rumors that we're talking about. She even met a young soldier who was trying to pick her up and showed her a piece of the memory foil to try to impress her. She told this whole story about that. So there's numerous people that worked in and around this that have come forward as witnesses to testify that there's something that crashed at Roswell, and it was definitely not a weather balloon, and it was definitely something they were super interested in. And they then, right after 47, Battelle hires Wright-Patterson to look into nickel titanium alloys, specifically all different types of titanium alloys. They had him do a really complete study on titanium, and also which included a method for analyzing titanium alloys of unknown composition. So it's obvious that Wright-Patterson, sometime in the late 1940s, got titanium alloys of unknown composition. They were directly somehow related to nickel titanium because 3 pages of Battelle's report is dedicated to nickel titanium alloys. The guy who wrote the report for Battelle was a guy named Elroy John Center. Center is his name, and John Elroy Center writes this report on how to analyze titanium alloys of unknown origin, and then comes out and says that, while I was working at Battelle, I was given these materials that were very definitely not made on this planet, and I was told to analyze them. And my conclusion was that even with our most advanced engineering, we couldn't produce something like this. So the memory metals.
I know that yesterday were someone was bringing up the semiconductors, and I was thinking about, just like there's like 30 different materials that didn't exist that were necessary for the MOSFET semiconductor that all of a sudden came together and they could create this thing. It's very much the Terminator 2 scene where they have that chip and they're like, oh, we can't build this, but someday we can build this. It's that whole vibe. I think that's the disclosure of that idea.
Yeah, so, absolutely. There's a lot that came about. Bell Labs had the ability to make the transistor, but then the MOSFET is I don't know. I'd like to see somebody who could really track down the classified history. Of course, all this stuff's proprietary, and a lot of that information was never written down or shared because of the sensitive and valuable monitoring nature of the research. So it's that's right. Another huge problem with doing the background check on this is how did they develop it, who developed it, and where. But the whole nickel titanium alloy thing just really stuck out to me, that because I was trying to debunk the Roswell thing, and I was I had a couple people that were really told me to look into this stuff and continue with the Corso thing, because 1994 the U.S. Air Force writes the Roswell Case Closed report, and literally
did you see that? William Bradford Shockley Jr., inventor of the MOSFET semiconductor and eugenicist. So
yeah.
So who invented your computers, folks? I mean, dang. All right.
Well, I was saying, look into what was I just saying?
Sorry, that one threw me off too.
I'm sorry, you threw that threw me off a little bit.
I did not expect to see that. I mean, that's like right. I guess Wikipedia these days will say that about anybody, but oh my god, like that was a lot. So nickel, titanium, like how they fabricated these
Okay, so
technologies.
Philip Corso. Look up Philip Corso, 1997. He writes a book that says, Roswell was definitely he worked, and this guy has all the right credentials. He worked
Mhm.
in that. He worked at the office at Wright-Patterson for years at the Material Command. So he's the guy that would know. And for him to come out and tarnish the Air Force's report, he just trashed it. He just took the Air Force's report and threw it right in the dustbin and said, no, we reverse engineered all this stuff from the craft that we recovered, and you all kept it hidden in secret and slowly leaked it out through a couple contractors and a couple people that were given like explicit access,
Yeah. So do you think that, I mean, so in that respect, that kind of, we were talking earlier about that idea, like breakaway civilization, but like, do you see this as like something like that? Like this seems like technology is, I see it more like the Terminator than anything. Like it's technology from the future. I mean,
Right.
this is technology. Do you, yeah?
But
What do you think?
I feel like if it was an MJ12 type group, let's say there's a group of these 12 people that are the secret holders that are decided that they're a compartmentalized subsection of the government where FOIA doesn't apply. It's all in a private, black tie meetings that never happened officially, behind the scenes types of stuff. And you guys, our job is to keep control of this crown jewel and slowly leak the technology out. But you feel like we're advancing too quickly and you can't get a handle on the stuff that's already gotten out. So you got to like release it slowly so you can, know how much you have. And, who's to know that what we have and how big of a piece of it is. And if other countries have similar stuff, if, similar programs, because I don't know, it seems like, didn't Australia have like a UFO crash where something crashed and then somehow the USA came in and it went to Wright-Patterson, so somehow it always goes to Wright-Patterson. And even when it's in other countries, there's a whole 1960s movie called The Bamboo Saucer, about this saucer that crashes in Asia, and the U.S. goes in there and they're fighting, they're battling with the Russians to try to get control of the saucer and get it out of it and escort, get it out of the country. And the scientists, yeah, the bamboo saucer.
So this is a movie about there's immaculate constellation, reclaiming breakaway civilization tech, but found in another country. So found in PRC China instead of in the United States. So you have to track down it's not, so it's like in China, which can't do it itself. So the Soviets and the Americans are racing into PRC to get the breakaway tech. Bro, this is crazy. I've not seen this movie. I have to watch this immediately.
Yeah, go watch it. It's cool. I mean, it's wicked cheesy, old special effects and everything.
It would have to be, or else people might take it seriously. What? Yeah. No, this is like way too serious of a movie to be made properly. Like, whoa, this is crazy.
Well, some wild themes came from this. They were talking to somebody who was the original Roswell.
I'm sure. Wow.
What they describe about the craft is there's some interesting details. When you go inside the craft, you see the craft from the outside.
Okay, so
right? When they go inside the craft, it's bigger on the inside and it's also invisible. The walls are invisible.